Thank you for joining us today. Welcome to the Organic webinar by Ardent Mills. Today we're going to review the organic wheat state of the industry. We're going to discuss the Ardent Mills organic footprint, and we're also going to help you understand how Ardent Mills can provide supply assurance with consistent quality. My name is Jamie Emanuel, and I'm helping to moderate the webinar today. A few logistics. If you have any questions throughout the entire webinar, please feel free to email event@ardentmills.com. There will be notes, footers at the bottom of each slide to remind you what the email address is, and we will answer questions at the conclusion of the webinar. Our speaker for today is Shrene White. Shrene grew up in Utah and started her grain career with Farmers Grain Co-op in Ogden, Utah. In 1991, she began working for Cargill after they purchased the Pillsbury flour mill in Ogden. She remained with Cargill in the flour milling business unit for 23 years between Ogden, Wichita, Kansas, and Kansas City. And in 2014, with the formation of Ardent Mills, she moved to Denver to take on the Director of Specialty and Risk role and has been instrumental in paving the way for organic. It's also important to note that Shrene is an avid Kansas City Royals fan and loves watching baseball with her family. And with that, I'll pass it off to Shrene.
All right, thanks, Jamie. We are really excited to be here today and just excited to share what we as Ardent Mills have been doing with organic, and just to give you guys a really high-level look at what's happening in the industry and really what has led us to this space. And the first slide we'd just like to highlight today is just kind of the whys of organic and what are we seeing from the consumer and what's happening there. And really we're starting to see what we call the enlightened eating trend. And what does that mean? It's just people looking for local, ethical, and purity in their food. And what we're really seeing is this group of people tend to be highly educated. They have a high income and they live in trendy food cities, and they have a strong urge to just, like we said, find that local farmers market, something simple, something fresh, something sustainable. And really on the health side of things, they're looking for the GMO-free, gluten-free, organic, something that's good for them, something that they believe is good for their children. And one thing that we believe that organic brings to that is it really helps people make that connection to what they're looking for with the purity side of things, the ethical, clean energy, and really just connects them to that farmer. And it's something that we believe with organic, we can really kind of draw that line from the products you're eating all the way back through the supply chain to that local farmer and to our flour mill. So we think this is really what's driving some of these movements that we're seeing in organic. And we'll get into those here in the next few slides. So really what we wanted to start off here is the state of the industry, and all of the data in these next few slides are pulled right from the Organic Trade Association. And most of the graphics are actually from 2014. The OTA is coming out with their new 2015 survey, which should be out and available probably within the next couple of weeks. So our webinar was just a little bit ahead of the time, but we were able to sit down with them and pull some key facts from the information that will be coming out from the survey. And in 2015, the industry saw the largest annual dollar gain ever in organic sales. And we saw that they added a $4.2 billion in sales. And that takes it to a new benchmark of $43.3 billion in organic sales, which is up 11% from the previous year's record. And in those 43.3 billion sales, 39.7 billion of that is actually organic food sales, which also equates to 11% jump from 2014. And organic food sales now represent almost 5% of the total U.S. food sales that we have. So still continue to see, double-digit growth. We've seen double-digit growth for now the last 4 years, and really expect to see this trend continue. There's 8 major categories in the OTA survey, and you've got dairy, fruits and vegetables, breads and grains, beverages, condiments, snack foods, meat, poultry and fish, and packaged and prepared foods. And I pulled a few of the highlights that I thought might be really interesting to the group on the webinar. And some of these are also kind of the fastest growing segments that we're seeing. And the first one is the fruits and vegetable category. And fruits and vegetables really have paved the way for organic. And it's easy for shoppers to kind of make that connection to the fruits that they're buying in the grocery store. They really understand what it means, to buy an organic apple or organic strawberry, and it really makes sense to them. And so we continue to see fruits and vegetables lead the organic food sales category. And they saw a jump of organic sales of 14.4 billion, which is up 10.6% from 2014. The next largest is dairy, and that category saw an increase of over 10% with 6 billion in sales. So right now, the fruits and vegetables category is almost 13% of the produce sold in the U.S. is now organic, and with dairy, about 15% of what's sold in the U.S. is organic dairy. And again, produce and dairy, they just are driving the market, and today those two categories account for half of the total organic food sales in the U.S. These next three categories are some of the fastest growing segments that OTA has been tracking. And the first one is condiments, and it's the fastest growing of the 8 major organic categories, and it crossed the $1 billion mark in sales for 2015, which is an 18.5% growth. The fresh fruits and the fresh juices and drinks saw another big jump with 33.5% in growth, and it's the fastest growing of all the organic subcategories. And then we've got Americans, snacking more organically. And food sales have more than tripled on organic snacks in the last 10 years. And in 2015, we saw sales of 2.3 billion, which is up almost 14% from 2014. And the breads and grains category, which is near and dear to what Ardent Mills is doing, continues to see growth as well. We saw about 8.5% growth in 2014, which equated to 4.4 billion in sales. And if you look at the organic fresh bread, it remains one of the hottest topics in the baking industry. And in just the last 2 years, we've seen retail sales of organic fresh bread move from 230 million to 300 million. And that was a number that was pulled from the 52 weeks ending on May 7th. So that's about an increase of 29% in the last 2 years. And a lot of the organic growth has been attributed to, like we mentioned in that first slide, just the enlightened eaters, people out there that are educating their friends, educating their neighbors on what it means to be organic, and really just the fact that we're starting to see these organic products enter into the mainstream. You can find them in Walmart, you can find them in Costco, you can find them in Kroger, and some of these mainstream grocery stores are really putting a focus on organic, and it's really opened up a market to people that wouldn't have been able to participate in organic in the past. So a large driver there. In talking with some of the folks at the OTA, they really believe that dairy and grains are two areas where growth could have been even more substantial if we had been able to have a greater supply. And so that's something that Ardent Mills is really working on, and we'll get to more of that later in the presentation. The next couple of slides you'll see is really just for informational purposes. I attended the OTA policy conference a few weeks ago, and these are a couple white papers that are being released. And if any of you are on any organic sites, any Facebook posts, you'll see a lot of information coming out of these next two slides. And so I just wanted to throw it out there for information again. And on the PowerPoint itself, you'll see the web link to get more information on these slides. And the first one I want to talk to you is just a paper that was put out talking about the science behind organic. And they looked at these categories: soil health, water quality, biodiversity, pollinator health, and climate change. And in soil health, they looked at studies that measured the soil organic carbon versus and tillage versus no-till farming methods. And if you look at water quality, there was a group out of Iowa State University in their agricultural and biosystems engineering and agronomy research farm that looked at nitrogen runoff, and the results suggested that the adaptation of organic farming practices can play a major role in improving water quality in agricultural areas. And under biodiversity and pollinator health, They have studies out there that just talk about plant diversity and how utilizing cover crops can lead to increased farm pollination and greater crop yields. And then the last one under climate change, the study just looked at direct and indirect sources of agriculture greenhouse gases. So if you've got, a marketing group or people just interested in what's happening in the organic space, like I said, you can go on to these websites and look at the full white papers, and it's just information that's out there. It's information that the organic sector is really talking about, and so I just thought it would be kind of cool just to put it out there if you guys wanted to take a look at it and just see what the latest buzz was on that. The other white paper that is coming out talks about U.S. organic hotspots. And there was an economist from Penn State that put together this paper for the OTA looking at U.S. organic hotspots and their benefit to local economies. So again, if you want to look at the full report, we've got the website there, ota.com/hotspots. But what the survey really showed was if you look at counties within organic hotspots, have a lower poverty rate and a higher median annual household incomes. On average, the county poverty rate drops by 1.3 percentage points, and the median income increases by over $2,000 in these hotspots. And so the hotspot is what they're defining as a hotspot is a county with high level of organic agriculture activity whose neighboring counties also have a high level of organic activity. And one thing they found that really made a difference in these hotspots was they had a really good mentor program for these growers, and that's something that we believe is really important as well. So they had organic certifiers that really worked with the growers, helped them to understand what they needed to do with their organic system plans and really how to do organic the right way. So again, just another kind of paper that's out there, something for you guys to take a look at if you want more information on what's being talked about in the organic world today.
And just another friendly reminder, if you have questions, please email event@ardentmills.com.
Now we're going to slide over into really more about the organic wheat market and what Ardent Mills is doing and why we wanted to enter the space. And we had been approached by quite a few of our flour customers a little over a year ago with their indications that they would really like to get products into the organic space. They were looking at the same trend numbers that we were looking at, but really voiced a concern on how do we manage supply. There's a huge gap between organic cropland and organic food sales, and that's what this graph shows here on the bottom. And so it was a big concern of our flour customers. We see a need for this space. We just don't know really how to get into this space. We're really concerned with price and sustainability and supply. And on the flip side of that, we had growers that were looking for ways to, add value to their farms. We all know what's happened with wheat prices over the last few years, and some of our growers are looking to find new opportunities and new markets that can help add value to their farm. So we really felt like this was a really good opportunity for Ardent Mills to step in and kind of help bridge the gap between what the farmers needed and what our flour customers were looking for. And in 2014, USDA published their organic wheat numbers, and these surveys only come out every couple of years. So that is one thing that the organic market is pushing for, is just to get more visibility on what's available and what's going on with the farmer. But in the last survey, you can see that wheat acreage was actually down in 2014. So we had about 263,000 acres of harvested wheat in that era. And if you want to break it out by class, about 11,000 acres of that was durum, almost 80,000 of it was spring wheat, and then the balance, about 173,000, was winter wheat. And one thing that is a little bit hard to look at from these charts and really understand is not all of the states will participate in this survey. And really that's just to protect the identity of their growers. So if they've got 2 or 3 really large growers, they may opt to not put their numbers in the survey because everyone would be able to know, oh, that's just because of these 2 growers. So really trying to understand true acres and what's happening with the S&D is something that the industry really wants to work on. But back in December, Ardent Mills kind of put our stake in the ground, and we started working with growers, and we put out what we call our grower initiative. And really what we said is Ardent Mills want to help farmers double U.S. organic wheat acres by 2019. And then we just sat down and decided, how do we do that? So this next slide is really just talks to what Ardent has done in the last year or so with our growers. And we actually got the help of Oregon Tilth, and that's who we use to certify our flour mills. And we sat down with them and we kind of explained our vision and how we wanted to help the farmers who were interested convert some of their acres from conventional to organic. And the first thing we did was we started with grower meetings, and we really just wanted to understand what are the concerns, what are the opportunities, what are the barriers for these farmers that want to get into this space. So we held 3 grower meetings back in January. We went to Fargo, North Dakota, and it was about 30 degrees below zero, so it was awesome. We went to Colorado, and then we went to Idaho, and really just we wanted to hit different parts of the country. So a hardwood spring area, a hardwood winter, and a hard white wheat area. And then with Idaho, we could pick up hardwood spring, hardwood winter, soft white, hard whites. So really good spot for us to target there in Idaho. And we spent the day talking with growers. We brought the transitioning to organic education coordinator from Oregon Tilth. He attended the meetings with us and really just talked with the growers and helped them understand, what does it mean to convert from conventional to organic? What can you expect during an inspection? What paperwork are you going to have to fill out? What farming practices are you going to have to change? And along with those meetings, we invited some of our current organic growers so they could talk to, here's what we've done, here's some issues that we've seen, here's how we do our crop rotation, or here's cover crops that we might plant that help build up that nitrogen back in the soil. So really wanted to connect them with their grower mentors so that they didn't go out and try something that wasn't going to work and just give up on the program. And we also had people from the NRCS that came and talked to the growers about how to put together their organic system plan and grant money that's available through the Farm Bill. And that's available if you are transitioning to organic or if you're already an organic farmer, and really just bringing to light some of that education that a lot of farmers didn't even know that assistance existed. So really, again, connecting one more dot for the farmer to get some help that he would need. And then we also brought in some other organic partners who might be interested in the rotation crops. And so we brought people who were looking for organic alfalfa and organic beans, organic corn, and really, again, connecting those dots with the farmers to help them understand, yes, Ardent Mills wants wheat, but we understand you have to rotate those crops. And so when you're not growing wheat, what do you do and who do you go to and where can you market whatever you happen to have in rotation? So really just, I think, broadening their horizon and helping them understand what's available in that market for their farm. And then we also introduced what we call our TCAP program, which is our Transitional Certification Assistance Program. And part of the information that really came to light from our growers was they're really interested. We have growers that really would look to convert some of their farm from conventional to organic, but it takes 3 years for a farm to go organic. And it's a big pain point for the growers when they have to plant organically, keep all of their organic records, keep everything segregated, clean the tractor, clean their trailers, do everything that they have to do during those 3 years, but they can't market any of their products that they grow into the organic market. It's all got to go conventional. And so what we did is we went out and we offered this assistance program that gives the farmer a little bit of financial assistance to help pay for some of those transitioning to organic certification costs. And then we offer them a premium for their wheat over the conventional market for any year during his transition that he would have wheat in his rotation. So we're looking at longer term contracts. We've got that transitional assistance program in place. It potentially could be a 5-year contract, so 3 years while they're in transitioning certification, and then we would guarantee them a bid for their first 2 years of organic wheat production once they become certified organic. And one of the caveats with this program is the farmers have to be able to show that they are certified transitioning to organic. So we can't have a farmer that's just going in and out from year to year depending on what market prices are doing. We want farmers in the program that are serious and committed and will be good growers for us in the future. And this map that's up here right now just kind of outlines where we're currently purchasing wheat, and the states in orange is where we've got acres contracted. So you can see Colorado, Idaho, Kansas, Michigan, Nebraska, Texas, Wyoming, and up in Saskatoon. So as we grow our Ardent Mills footprint, we expect to, next year be able to even fill in more of the states. So we're really excited about our growing program, our farmer program. We've gotten a lot of good feedback, and I think as we started the program a little bit late to get the hard red winter farmers in, but we're really starting to see that that program really pick up for the winter wheat guys as they're starting right now to make decisions about what they want to do this fall. This next slide is something that we're really excited to share with everyone. It just kind of shows our journey. So 2014, when we formed Ardent Mills, this is what we had available in the organic space, and it was actually came with us through the Conagra side of the business. And we were milling flour in Denver and Commerce City, and those two flour mills have been certified organic since 1996. And we really sat down as a team and asked ourselves, where do we want to be? And we have a specialty team within Ardent Mills. So along with myself, I've got a specialty sales director. We've got specialty customer service people. We have R&D people and operations tags. And so really just sat down and said, does Ardent Mills really want to be in this space? And if we do, what do we need to do to be the person or the company that people like yourselves can turn to help with your organic plans? And so as you can see, from 2014 to 2015, we did add one product into our lineup, which was our organic pastry flour that we run at the Denver mill. And then really we saw a lot of focus between 2015 and 2016. And you can really see it really highlights what Ardent Mills has done. And under our grower category, we've increased our contracted acres, like we said from that previous slide, from Colorado into these other growing states. We introduced our 2019 organic initiative. We held our grower meetings, and we've got our TCAP program. And we're actually this fall going to partner with some of the wheat commissions and do some more grower outreach and grower workshops. So that's something to kind of look forward to that we've got going on this fall once we kind of get through harvest. On the manufacturing side, we are in the process right now of certifying 3 more of our flour mills as organic. And with the Ardent Mills footprint, this is something that we see a lot of opportunity for growth. So as our flour customers are wanting to increase products and increase their footprint in this space, we're going to be able to grow with you. And we'll look at your needs and where it's best for us to be able to hit those needs. And if we need to certify new flour mills, we're certainly willing to do that. So we've got Mankato, Ogden, and Saskatoon on the docket, and we should have all 3 of those certified here within probably the next 90 to 120 days. Another thing that we've done is we've worked closely with our growers to understand what do they need, and they need space to deliver wheat. So we're working to set up a new storage facility up in Hereford, Colorado. That'll be a good point for us to bring in organic wheat from Kansas and Wyoming and Nebraska, and we can stage it in Hereford and bring it into the Colorado mills as needed. On the product side, this is something that we're working really closely with our R&D group, and this year we will introduce organic durum that will run in our mill in Mankato. We'll introduce the organic cracked product that we'll do here in Commerce City, and then organic spelt that we can do at Denver and Commerce City. And more to come as we go throughout the year on that, really looking at these heirloom grains and some other opportunities that we have. So I think one thing that we would just like to stress with everyone is just because you don't see it on their list talk to your salespeople, let us know what you guys are interested in, and we're more than willing to take a look at it. And one thing that's kind of fun about this project is we've really talked to our flour mills to help them understand that this is going to be a very hands-on type of project. They're used to running hundreds of thousands of bushels through the mill every month. And when we brought organic spelt into the flour mills here in Denver and Commerce City, it was really fun to watch the operations group engage in that project. And we brought in just a few trucks to try, and we traced those trucks all the way from Canada and Montana and right into the flour mills here. And guys were ready, and trucks were flagged, and they knew exactly where they were going to unload it into the flour bin. As we did some of our cracked and some of the process on it, we had spelt that was tempered in, your big white 5-gallon buckets and hauled up the stairs and dumped into the mill. We had guys that were holding flour bags on first break and catching samples for us. So it was a really fun project, and it was really fun to watch these guys engage in this specialty arena. And it's fun when they come to us and ask, what's next? What do we get to play with next? So they're really excited about the space. And so like I said, if you've got something that you're interested in, please let us know, and we'd love to work on it with you. And then as far as memberships, we felt as Ardent Mills, if we wanted to be a leader in this space, we really needed to get connected with other companies in the industry. And so as such, we've taken the initiative to join the Organic Trade Association. And within the trade association, they have just set up a new council called the Organic Grain, Pulse, and Oilseed Council. And so as Ardent Mills, we will get to participate and be members of that new organic council within the OTA. And then we're also joining the U.S. Organic Grain Collaboration. And it's a group of industry leaders that are looking at what can we do to help grow the organic supply, whether it's wheat, fruits and vegetables, dairy, but how can we work with the growers? And again, new grower programs, new variety programs. So I think it's going to be fun participating in that collaboration, because it's really across the whole industry. And so it'll be good to really see what people are doing and see how, as Ardent Mills, we can help grow those initiatives out there. Our next slide is just really how Ardent would like to help change the supply chain. And it's going to start obviously with our grower networks. And what we've talked about internally is how we're going to have kind of our near-term goal, which has really gotten us where we have been from 2015 to where we're starting 2016. And then we've got kind of our 3-year, 5-year goals. And some of that is going to be with breeding work. And we had some breeders that attended our grower meetings, so they could understand some of the issues that the farmers are having today and some of the concerns they have, whether it be with weed management or drought resistant varieties or better disease packages. And we're of the opinion that, you look at how much money is put into these breeding programs every year for conventional wheat, and if we just took a small portion of that and really started focusing on some organic varieties that would be, specific for what the farmer needs, we really think that we'll be able to help improve functionality and consistency and better agronomic benefits for the growers. So that's something we're really excited with, and we're really starting to engage with some of our public and private breeding groups that we work with. And it was really funny. I was on a crop tour yesterday, and first time I've ever been on a crop tour where you've had a public breeder talk about an organic variety and how he saw a variety planted and it looked really great in an organic field. So that was kind of fun to see that it is starting to take notice, and people are starting to see that this isn't going away, it's just getting bigger. We've got a great grower network. Came together as the formation of Ardent Mills. We've got great growers that we work with here in the Colorado area, the Kansas, Nebraska, Wyoming area with our IP programs out there. We've got a great base of growers up in Idaho with our Hard White Spring programs. And so it's been a really easy transition for us to bring those guys into the fold and help them understand the different opportunities that are available if they are interested in going into that organic market. And again, we're offering our transitional certification assistance, we're offering multi-year programs, and we continue to increase the number of delivery options that they've got as far as where they can bring their wheat. And we believe our mills are positioned really well to capture the local market, whether it's the spring wheat market, the hardwood winter market, hard white wheat market, the soft white wheat market. So we believe strategically we're in a really good place to hit those markets. And then with our flour partners, just that guarantee of supply. I think one of the biggest concerns out there is just, what if we launch this product and then we can't find flour to support it? And one thing is Ardent Mills, you know, we've been given the green light from Bill and Dan to go out and secure supply. And, you know, it's a lot of times it's chicken or the egg. Well, we've got the supply, and we're here to kind of help you guys build out your program. We can get you access to our family farms. And again, would love to do a multi-year contract. It's great to be able to go back to a farmer and say, we've got a flour customer who's willing to step in and partner with all of us through the supply chain. So the farmer knows that he's going to have that bid. Our flour customer knows that they're guaranteed that supply. And one thing that we've been really careful with our farmers is they look back at those markets in 2008 when organic wheat was $30 a bushel, and we just said, don't expect the market to go to $30 a bushel, because high prices cure high prices, and we won't have a market for that flour. But we've got to find that win-win through the whole supply chain. And we believe that, based on our grower contacts and our flour partners, that we'll be able to do that. So just really excited about what the next few years has to bring for our growers, for our flour partners, for our breeders, and just where we can take this market. So a lot of things happening on this front, and every day, something's changing, something new, a new opportunity is coming to us. So we're excited about that. I think one thing as Ardent Mills, we want to make sure you guys know that when you're working with us, you're also working with our family farms. And these guys take a lot of pride in what they're doing, and they work really hard. And we're working with farmers, like we said, to help put up new storage space. We're working with farmers to pick the right varieties that are going to make them successful. And one thing that we've really tried to talk with our flour salespeople is to really think out of the box. Ardent Mills can help our flour customers not only get flour, but we have farmers that are rotating organic potatoes, organic corn, organic alfalfa. If you've got a dairy product you need and they need organic alfalfa, we've got quite a few farmers that are doing potatoes, and it would be awesome, I think, if we could link up that whole supply chain. So don't think of Ardent as just only flour anymore. We can get you to these farmers that have these other products that are available. We're partnering with a group in Texas that is really excited to be a new organic farmer for Ardent, and he's got 1,400 acres in the ground today and expects by 2019 he'll have 13,000 acres of organic wheat that he'll be able to rotate wheat, potatoes, corn. So it would be great to hook up some of that. So we're really, really excited about the potential with our farms and our programs and what you guys might need as a flour customer. So this is kind of wrapping up everything that we've talked about here. And one thing that we would really like to stress with our flour customers is, as Ardent, we have a small group of people that are working on this specialty program. So think of us as, that intimate customer service group that you can come in and you can work with us in the AMIC and work with our chef and our R&D people and we can help you develop new products. But we've got the grower base that can help give you the consistency and supply and the price stability and scale. If you want to grow, we've got the grower base that can help get you to where you need to be. But along with that kind of intimate customer experience, we've got the high quality and safety standards that you might not get with some of these other smaller suppliers. So really think of us kind of on a two scale. We've got that small customer experience, but we've also got the leverage of food safety, food quality, and anything that you might require on that side of it as well. And again, just really excited about the partnerships that we can grow and that we can develop, whether it's getting you out to meet some of our growers, getting you on a crop tour, But we're really excited about the opportunities to develop that strategic relationship with everyone in the supply chain. And then this is our last slide of the day, and it's just a quick overview of some of the products that we've got available. So we've got our whole wheat and our cracked wheat, our all-purpose and our bread flours, pastry, durum, spelt, and our ancient grains. And again, we would just really stress that if you don't see something here on the list, please let us know. You know, if you got something funky you want us to take a look at, we would be, you know, really excited to work on that and just see what we can do together. So appreciate your time, and I think we've got some questions. So
yeah, thank you, Shrene. Just a reminder, if you have any questions, please email event@ardentmills.com, and we will try to address as many as we can as they come through. Let's see, one question that we received. Shrene, what's your vision for the market for the next 3 years? What market are you looking for?
So I think our vision for the market in the next 3 years is just we don't think this market's going away. And that's one thing that we've really tried to stress with our growers. And some of the feedback we've received from them is it's just that, you know, you're always asking us to do something new. You know, every week you want us to try this or try that. And this is one thing that we said we really feel like this market is here to stay. And kind of polling some of those in the industry, I don't think it's wrong to say that we'll continue to see double-digit growth in this space. And again, a lot of it is, you know, the millennials, they're making decisions, they're making different choices on their budgets and how they're going to spend their money, and they want to know what's in the ingredients they're feeding their children, and they want that local feel. And so where we envision the market for the next 3 years, we just see it continuing to grow, and we see a lot of new people coming into that space to help us, whether it's, like we said, with the breeders and new wheat varieties, and just the partnerships that will help us grow in that space is what we're looking for.
It's exciting. Let's see, another question that we received. Will Ardent have additional organic flour lines in the future? I think we talked to some of that. And how available is organic flour expected to be for 2016 and 2017? So in the near future.
In the near future. So I think, you know, we've got some really good contacts. I can speak for what Ardent Mills has done, and we've made great contacts over the last couple of years, and we've got a great grower base, and I don't foresee any issues today with any of the projects that we're working on as far as supply. Like I said earlier, we've kind of gone out and we've accumulated supply so that we're in a position to be able to offer that flour to our flour customers. I would always tell customers that let us know ahead of time. If you think you've got something big in the works, let us know so we can start positioning our growers, positioning our stocks, make sure we've got it in the right location. So that's what I would say is if you've got something going on, get with your flour salesperson, flour contact, and let's just get it on the radar so that as we're talking with growers and bringing new growers in and buying new acres and new bushels, we know how to position those for our flour customers.
Another question here. Do you use U.S. organic only, or are you importing?
So most of what we're doing is U.S. only. We have brought in some spring wheat from Canada and some pastry, some soft white wheat from Canada. So all of our wheats are U.S. or Canadian grown. We do have some organic gluten-free products that do come that are imported outside of the U.S. But for our wheat program, everything we're doing is really centered and focused on U.S. and Canada and really just growing out those acres.
Excellent. Another question here. How did you choose the 3 flour mills that you're getting organic certified right now?
We looked at inquiries that we were getting from our flour customers, and we looked at where is the wheat being grown, and does it make sense to try and position a forward mill or an interior mill that we would call. And for us right now in this stage of the game, we kind of had to just make a decision. We needed to get acres in the ground, and so we went with the 3 flour mills where we knew we would have a lot of truck origination. We were close to the farmer base. And then we looked at mills that would be able to service needs of multiple different types of flour. So we can do a whole wheat flour or a higher protein bread flour out of the Mankato mill, Durham out of the Mankato mill. We looked at Saskatoon and what we could do up in Canada. And then, like I said, with Ogden, I think it's going to be a really good opportunity for potential pastry mill, all-purpose. We can do whole wheat flour at Ogden. We can do color sorted at Ogden. So lots of opportunities at the Ogden mill. So we kind of had to make our bet. And as we get in new flour customers, we'll look at each of the flour mills that we have certified organic and where does it make the best fit to put them. So we kind of just had to make the best decision on what the information that we had, and we really started with where's the grower base for each of those facilities. So that's why we picked what we did.
Now it looks like we have one more question, saving the best for last, Shrene. Availability and what is the security of volume supply?
So like I said, we kind of drew our line in the sand and said, as Ardent Mills, we want to be the partner of choice with our flour customers. And to do that, we had to make sure that we had the supply of wheat. So if that meant going out and securing bushels and securing acres beforehand, then that's what we were going to do, and that's what we did. So we worked really hard last year to set up bushels to make sure that they were in place so that as our flour customers came to us with some of their big launches, we would be in a position to supply those. So right now, again, like I've said in the past, I'm not worried with what I've seen today. We've got a great grower base. We're growing that grower base every year. I'm really excited about the opportunities for what we can get on the organic winter wheats this fall. And I would say if you've got a project, and the more heads up, the better. But right now, I think given our grower base, we're in a really good spot to help some of our customers launch some really cool products.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Shrene. It's a lot of really great information, and it's really exciting to see where we as Ardent Mills will continue to go with the organic space. Thank you each for joining the call today. We will be sending out a follow-up link with the recorded webinar, so if you wanted to rewatch again or share with your colleagues, you are welcome to do so. And of course, please continue to have the conversation with your Ardent Mills account manager if you need samples, if you have more questions. We're here for any additional needs. And thank you.